In this demonstration, we will look at how to use OrbitNote, which is a PDF reader and writer created by TextHelp, the makers of Read and Write and OrbitNote. Let's begin. If you're on an SD71 computer, you will have OrbitNote and other extensions pushed out to Chrome and Edge. If these do not show up on your browser for Google Chrome, simply click this gray-black puzzle piece, and if they're not there, they will be clear, and in order to pin them and have them show up, just to select the pin tool, and they will now show up. So here's OrbitNote, the little icon that looks like a blue yin-yang sort of thing. In order to open it, if you click on it, it opens up in your dashboard. It signs in automatically with your Microsoft account, which is your student email or your staff email and your password that you use for the computer. Now you can open up documents, PDF documents, in a number of ways. You can drag and drop, you can choose file, you can open things directly from OneDrive, or you can navigate to a website or Teams or Canvas or any other location and open a PDF document straight into OrbitNote as long as it's open like we have here. So let's do that. I'm going to navigate to a collection of graphic organizers. This collection of graphic organizers can be found on Learn71 under Writing Supports. You can see that there are graphic organizers for primary, intermediate, and secondary. I'm going to open a story map, PDF. If I click on the PDF, it opens up, and because I had OrbitNotes already open in my extension, I can now click on Open with OrbitNote. It will now open up in OrbitNote, sign me into Microsoft, and now I have all of these tools available to use. Some of them will be familiar if you're used to read and write. I can select text and have it read to me.
Where the story takes place.
I can look up words with a picture dictionary, and it'll have it read aloud.
Story.
Or with a regular dictionary, and I could have that read aloud by hitting the play arrow. I can also use my text tool to add text, select where I want my text box to go, and now I have the choice of typing in. I can use speech to text or word prediction to get my ideas out. I'm going to use speech to text. The story took place in a castle and a forest, period. I'll click off of it to stop listening. I could listen to it read back to check and make sure I didn't make any errors.
The story took place in a castle and a forest.
And because it's a text box, I can add my capitals or make any edits that I need to make. I can also use word prediction if I choose to by clicking the little word prediction icon. And now if I start typing, it will pop up with the words, and I can hover over and have the words read aloud and then select the one I want to show up in my text box. I can move my text box if I put it in the wrong place. I can make my text size bigger or smaller, or higher contrast by using a different color. And I can also delete my text box if I'm finished. If I want to now send this to my teacher, I have to print this as a PDF and print the annotations onto this PDF. And how I do that is by going to the printer icon, going up to Destination and selecting Save as a PDF and selecting Save. That will then print the text onto the PDF so that my teacher has my responses and my answers. Now we're going to look at how to use OrbitNote and open up a document that you have saved on your computer. I just tapped on my OrbitNote extension. Now I'll go to drag and drop a PDF file or choose file. So I'll select choose file, navigate to where my PDF documents are saved. I'm going to open a book that I downloaded from ArcBC, which is a repository of novels and textbooks that are available to students with perceptual difficulties. I select Outsiders Chapter 1 and open. It now will open up in OrbitNotes with all of my tools available to me. I can choose the click and speak icon right here. So if I'm reading novels or textbooks or things with paragraphs, if I click on it, it's now selected. I can now tap anywhere on the document and
I
it will read
finally
aloud.
thought of something to say.
I can stop it reading, and if I want to click out of click and speak, I just turn it off like that. I can change the rate of how fast or how slow on my voice and my language under the three-dot menu and settings. Here I can choose my language if I'm using French documents. I can choose my voice and how fast or how slow, and I can even choose my translation language. This is great for ELL students or students who are at French immersion. I can also use my screen mask tool by selecting it, and now it's like a little reading window as I read. Those settings can all be changed under the settings cog right here. Finally, we are going to bring something in from OneDrive. I will select OrbitNote again, and this time I will select Open PDF from OneDrive. This is great if the teacher has shared a document with you for OneDrive or you've uploaded it to OneDrive. Now I navigate to my sample PDF files, and I can open up the file that I want just by double-clicking and hitting select. It now opens up in OrbitNotes with all of the tools to support me with either reading or writing into the document. Finally, a new feature has been added to OrbitNotes that can convert image-based PDFs into text-based PDFs. If you have gone to a photocopier and scanned an assignment to students and then emailed that PDF to them from the photocopier, this will be an image-based PDF, which means it's not readable. It doesn't know that that is text, it thinks it's a picture. But OrbitNotes has a new feature in the toolbar. So if I go to Choose File and navigate to an image-based PDF and select Open, it opens up, but you'll see in the right-hand side, it's popped up with this little tool. It's asking me if I want to scan this document because I know it's not an image-based document because I can't select the text. So I hit Scan Text, change my document language if it's French or English or whatever language, give it a name. I'm going to add the letters OCR because I know this is now going to be transferred into a text-based document, and hit Scan. I then can save the document where I want to save it, give it a name, and select. It will take a few minutes to quickly scan the document and make it so that it is a text-based PDF. Once it opens up, I now am able to use my click and speak or drag and hit my reading
Another problem
support
with free
in the document. There's lots of other features that you can explore in OrbitNotes. Check out Learn 71 resources for OrbitNote if you're wanting some more information or want to learn how to install it on Bring Your Own devices at home. There's tip sheets, there's links, and there's other videos for you to use, and even sample documents to try. Thanks for listening. Hope this helps.